Hey, it's Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. That means it's time for Grateful Chef. I'm Eric Eisenbud, the Grateful Chef. Welcome to the Grateful Chef Kitchen. As always, I have immense gratitude for all those who are joining us again, and those who are joining us for the first time. Please don't hesitate to chime in, tell us who you are, where you're from, and we'll give you that warm Grateful Chef welcome. Not just me, but our community of people that watch almost each and every week, some who do, and again, lots of gratitude for those folks. Tonight you're going to see a little trend, let's put it that way. Now spring is sprung here in New Jersey, summer is coming, you're going to see a little bit of trend to some quicker, because we all have nice busy schedules and we're going to want to be out and doing things. So we got some quicker, healthier recipes that we're going to be working on. Of course, we are not straying too far away from the more elaborate and let's call decadent recipes as they come up. You know, I never know what we're going to do on this show until about Sunday night, and that's when I usually post the invite. So we're going to keep that up, but tonight we are doing a quick one-pot meal. It's using things that are fresh in the moment, in the season. Those are spring vegetables. And we're breaking out an old favorite that never goes out of style, and that is dry-aged beef, dry-aged by yours truly. And we're doing New York strips today, beautiful prime New York strip steaks. And we're going to cook them in a cast iron skillet. So this meal fits under the category of one-pot meal. It also fits under the category of cast iron cooking and dry-aged beef and seasonal ingredients. So let's, I see Lynn has some hellos.
Of course we have
already,
hellos. So
as always.
Ted Ujafluzzi, he said, good evening, chef.
Good evening, Ted.
And
Thanks again for coming back.
We've got Paul Tony.
Paul, thanks, my brother.
And my slow switching from the other pages.
I think we have a issue.
Lost connection with me, though.
All right. What happened?
I don't know.
It says we're still on, so we're still, obviously we are recording. Hold on, we have a technical difficulty.
We're working on it.
Oh, here we go.
Go back on camera.
All right, here we go.
You are still on. Sorry, guys.
All right, in case we got disrupted, the Grateful Chef speaks, take two. Eric Eisenbud, Grateful Chef, back again. We never know. This is live, so we don't know about technical difficulties until they happen. So hopefully we didn't lose any of you and you're still here hanging in with us. We're doing real life cooking together. It's not just me, it's not just you, it's us together. And this is how we do here in the Grateful Chef Kitchen.
And you also have Dave Lehman. He said, hey, yeah, from Tennessee.
My brother Dave. Hope you're well. Hope mom is well. All right, so let's go right to the chalkboard, as always. So we're doing cast iron cooking, prime New York strips. We're doing spring vegetables with a Dijon vinaigrette. A little unconventional to put a vinaigrette over steak, but hey, why not? Vinaigrette is a sauce, and I'll tell you this about vinaigrettes. If you know how to make one vinaigrette, you know how to make 100. You just got to change the flavor profile, but the technique is exactly the same. So we're going to do that. The veggies we're using are peas, asparagus, and spring onions, also known as scallions. And that's what we are doing today. Really excited. And Lynn has her hand up. Yes, Lynn.
So we've got Zoe Miles. He said, just to reiterate, he goes, I take it this will be dry-aged strip?
This will be dry-aged New York strip. I'm going to show you them right now. I have these three beauties, and I want you to see the intense marbling. That is prime beef right there, folks, and I do believe that this came from Costco. So if you want to buy a whole New York strip from Costco, just talk to the butchers there. They'll be happy to go into the back and bring a few out and let you choose the one that you want to bring home. So don't settle for just what's in the case. Get to know your butcher. They love talking meat with people that know how to talk about meat. So, yeah, they'll certainly do that for you. So I'm going to put my pan on. Make sure we've got our hood going a little bit.
So as you're heating that up, Zoe Miles asked how many days dry aged?
This is 45-day dry aged. Yeah, you can go, find your sweet spot when you're dry aging at home. There's a bunch of ways to do it. You can find all that information out online if you Google it. There's some, ready to go products. There are do-it-yourself boards where you can learn how to convert a fridge, where you certainly can go to any online butcher that sells dry aged beef and just buy it. So whatever tickles your fancy in that area. Yes, Lynn?
So before you move on, we've got Jay Judge. He said, hey guys.
Hi, Jay.
See you soon.
Yes, we will see you Friday morning, my friend, coming in from New Mexico. We're really excited. We always love to see you guys.
And then we have Brack Wheeler. He said he's excited to see this. May have to finish later, but stoked to watch.
It will always be pinned as an announcement on the Grateful Chef with Eric Eisenbud board. You can go and look at all the ones we've done so far. And before I forget, who is the mysterious Lynn? She is our producer, our camera woman, and the wind beneath my wings that we thank profusely every week. Thank you.
I love you, babe.
I love you too. Oh, isn't that sweet?
Then we also have Brian in our audience.
And a very special guest, one of Lynn's colleagues from the UK, Brian. He is here eating cheese all by himself.
Cheese, wine.
Yes, cheese and wine. And he ate blue cheese. Blue cheese. I hear he doesn't like blue cheese. But it was my blue cheese that I marinated for 4 months under a vacuum with Riesling. It's really phenomenal. Before we get to the cooking, let's remind you of our website. It is eatingwithcheferic.com. Lots of cool stuff. Travel spot where you can go if you're going to travel to an area that we've been to. You can see our recommendations. There's a great tools and ingredients, my favorite stuff, that you can go on there. And a couple of them have like a promo codes where you can buy stuff at a discount if you do it through my website, which is really cool. And yeah, so check it out. It's really cool. And I will ask once again, I haven't asked in a while, we're at 736 or 63 members of our group. Let's put a blast out there. Let's get your friends involved. Let them know what we're doing here. And it is most greatly appreciated by us. Yes, Lynn?
We also have Sam Mann with us tonight. He said mustard on beef is sublime.
It sure is. And this is a vinaigrette, yes. But it's got a high percentage of Dijon mustard. So it almost is more like a mustard sauce. So good point there, Sam. We're going to get right to it. What I want to do is, before I start the vinaigrette, I want to put the steaks on. Typically, I'd make the vinaigrette in advance and then I'd cook the steaks, but I want the timing to be a little bit different. So, if Lynn will meet me at the stove, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. I want to talk about this new thing that we've got. So Grateful Chef is a big fan of the avocado oil as recommended by Mike from Bon Palais, my favorite Thai restaurant situation. And I have discovered that they have a spray, which is really cool. It makes life easy. You can spray a pan. In this case, I'm going to spray the steaks. This comes out really, really nice and even. So I'm spraying both sides of the steak. These steaks I removed from the refrigerator and I salted them. And
does it have spray options on it? Because that really came out thick.
It does not have spray options. It comes out, if you have to press real hard, and it comes out in a mist. If you press lightly, it comes out more like a stream. Okay. So yes, Lynn, I am going to blot some of this oil off because it was quite fast.
Michael Cassell says, good evening, Chef.
Good evening, Mike.
And Paul Taboni asked a really funny question.
Yeah.
He says, who are you picking for the Stanley Cup?
Who is Stanley and why is his cup so important to so many people? I don't get it. I'm not a big sports guy, I must admit. So, all right. So
Brian,
we've
do you
got
have a pick for the Stanley Cup? Do you even know what it is?
Bruins. Okay, good guess.
I lived in Boston for a year. So.
All right. So even Brian from the UK knows more about the Stanley Cup and its significance than the Grateful Chef himself. Okay, anyway, way to show me up. Thank you. So we're going to put these steaks in. Get a nice sizzle. Yep. I'm not doing a hard sear. I'm going to just let them cook a little more gently. Like if these were sous vide and already cooked, I'd blast them in here because you don't want to cook them for too long. So we're putting these steaks in here.
One of the things that you were mentioning earlier is that you were concerned that they'd be too crowded.
These are not crowded because we know that we do not want to crowd the pan in any situation because then you create steam. So I'm just going to press these down to make sure they've got good surface contact. And I'm going to do like the multiple flip method. So I'm going to flip them several times. We're going for a nice medium rare. These are dry aged steaks, so these are going to cook about 25% faster than a fresh steak. So I want to keep that in mind. And we're going to monitor. So I'm going to go to about 118, 120, and then we're going to take them off and let them rest. We're going to get to that vinaigrette. Yes, Lynn?
I always heard that you only flip them once, and you just mentioned the multiple flip method.
No, you know what? It cooks nice and evenly. And again, if these were sous vide and already cooked, I'd want to do that hard sear, flames, the whole thing, just to get them in and out of the pan as quickly as possible, so not to destroy the red edge to edge that sous vide achieves, or reverse sear for that matter. So we're going to move them around. I just want to get not so much the crust. The crust will develop with each time that I flip it. So that'll develop, and it develops more slowly. I find with dry aged New York strips especially, if you cook it too hard, too fast, it tends to seize up a little bit. So we don't want that to happen. We want these primes to be beautiful. Let's see what we've got here. So the cast iron is doing its job. It's making a nice crust. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to flip them. I've got one that's a little bit thicker here. So we're going to obviously let that one go a little bit longer. And the other thing I don't want to forget, and you should remember to do this as well, is you've got that strip of fat here. You definitely want to make sure that you get some color on that. Let that start to render out, because when it renders out, it just becomes really luscious and something that you definitely want to eat. If you don't render out the fat, it'll kind of stay, I don't want to say rubbery necessarily, but it's less palatable if you don't render out that little fat cap area. So when I go to flip them back again, I will make sure that I give some attention to that fat cap.
We also have Jay Tepper with us tonight, and I think his meal is really similar to ours. He's doing a cheeseburger and asparagus on his skillet tonight.
Fantastic, Jay.
Oh, wait, and a side of sweet potato fries.
Nice.
So that's big cooking for Jay.
That is big cooking for Jay. So proud of you, brother. All right. So I'm going to sit these up on that fat cap a little bit. And again, I'm not concerned that I'm not creating a crust right away, because it's going to happen. You can see how nice these are crusting up.
It smells good in here.
Smells good already.
So can you let them sit there while you do the vinaigrette, or is it that you need to watch them? No, I'm going to let them ride a little bit. You can see how quickly that fat gets a nice color. It's exactly what you want to do. All right. Let's go back to the cutting board. Let these go, flip them back over. That one needs a little more color over there. And I know you always tell me that they're done when they're done. They're done when they're done. But any idea how long? No, the best way to tell when a steak is done, digital thermometer. So it takes the guesswork out of it. You know exactly where you want to go, and you can just give it a quick poke, and it'll tell you exactly where you're at.
All right, now let's do a vinaigrette. In my medium-sized bowl, I have, I just want to reference the recipe so I do not forget any ingredients, but I do have them all laid out here. All right, so what we have here, this is calls for 1 clove of grated garlic. I did 2 because I always add more garlic than the recipe calls for. We have, this is 1/3 of a cup of Dijon mustard. So that is going in. I'm going to use my rubber spatula to make sure I get it all. And this is just like you would for any vinaigrette. You're going to add some seasonings. You're going to add like a mustard. You need it for the emulsification, which is blending a water and an oil-based product so they stay together. And the only way to do that is use an emulsifying agent. All right, so this is some sherry vinegar, about a tablespoon. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick little whisk just to combine. Nice. All right. Here I have a teaspoon of honey. Going to add a little sweetness to it. That's going in there. It's a little crystallized, but it's quite all right in this aspect. This is a little bit of cayenne pepper. A little kick to it.
I want to come in close for that.
Come on in. The weather is fine. And I'm going to, you'll see that this is quite thick. All right? So I'm going to thin it out with just a tablespoon of water. And that is your base flavorings. You can see the specks of the cayenne pepper. Now, you want to make your emulsion. So let me just flip the steak. So while we're doing this, that crust is forming beautifully. This one's going to be done quite soon. This is where the emulsification comes in. In here, I have 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. I think it's about 1/3 of a cup. Yeah. And the key is to drizzle it in the beginning. So while you're whisking, you just want to trickle it in. And that's going to begin the emulsifying. And once it begins to emulsify, then you can go a little heavier, more heavy-handed on the oil.
Can you tell me more about emulsifying?
Yeah, so emulsifying again is taking 2 items that typically would not mix. So you've got the water and the vinegar, and those are all like a water-based product, and you're trying to mix it with the oil. If you don't do an emulsification in a vinaigrette, what's going to happen is it's going to be like the bottles of dressing you see in the supermarket where the oil separates. You don't want that. You want the thing to stay together, and if you do a correct emulsification, it will not separate like that, and it'll stay together. And this is what we want, especially for this application, because this really is becoming a sauce. So I can see that the emulsification is happening, trickling it in. And again, this is how you're going to do every vinaigrette under the sun. You can do it with maple. You can do it with, whatever flavor profile you want. You can put shallots in. You can use champagne vinegar. You can use sherry vinegar like I did, or apple cider vinegar. It's basically the same thing. It's a vinegar, it's a mustard, it's an oil. So, and here I'm using olive oil. And what I want to do is I'm going to stop because I do want to check the temperature on the meat. You can see it's together beautifully. Let's go check the meat real quick.
Oh, right. Your meat's sitting on top of each other.
Yeah, this one is a thinner one, so I just wanted to... Yeah, this one's done. I'm going to put it on my time board. I'm going to say these are all done, but look at how the crust is formed. Beautifully. Okay, this one's still at about 109, so we're going to let this one go. I'm going to put it on the fat cap a little bit.
And again, what temperature are you going to?
We're going for about 118, 120.
set this to medium rare.
This is the medium rare.
Yeah, what's the one you really nervous for?
You know, I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm nervous. Okay, I'm going to take this one off. I wouldn't say I'm nervous. There's ones that I am not familiar with that I am perfectly aware that I could totally screw it up and make a mistake. And so, like, I'm not afraid to make a mistake in the kitchen. So I wouldn't say I'm nervous cooking with anything. Okay. It's just that I might not know. All right.
Normally it's good. We spend the evening where and we might be ordering takeout.
All right. This could not be so good. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. We all make mistakes in the kitchen for sure. And
not once have we chosen to order takeout.
Not once.
Good. So his track record's pretty good. Where a couple of times it's not quite as happy as he wanted to be, but
yeah, and so I figure how I could tweak it to make it better. But we do go to restaurants and have bad meals, and when that happens, we often within the next day or two, I'll do a redemption of that meal, and I'll fix it. All right, so we're adding the oil. The emulsifying is happening.
Kevin Holmes Liddell has been let out of Facebook jail.
All right.
And he said emulsification is the suspension of two colloids with opposite charges.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Always helpful.
Oh yeah, always helpful. Always got to one-up the Grateful Chef. All right, so the emulsifying is happening, so I'm going to add the oil a little quicker now. I'm going to finish it up. Yeah, it's beautiful. Look at that, it's gorgeous. Nice and silky and smooth. All right, that's all our oil.
We also have Craig Gallagher with us tonight.
Hey, Craig. All right, so you can see that this is beautifully emulsified. I'm going to pour it in the bowl so you can really see the viscosity of it. And then we're going to go back to the stove and do our veg. All right, here we go. So you can see it's beautifully emulsified. It's like silk.
Wow.
So when I think of a vinaigrette, I think of something much clearer.
Yeah, well this is more like a sauce, so it's got a higher percentage of the Dijon mustard in there. Okay. So that's what you want for this application. All right.
Ryan, I don't think dinner's gonna suck.
No.
There we go.
So I guess you don't necessarily have to always serve a hot sauce, a warm sauce.
No, definitely not.
No?
One thing we always got to remember is taste. It's perfect. It's like a sweet, and it's salty, and it's Dijon-y, if that's even a word. All right, we're going back to the stove now. We're going to put our pan back on. I'm going to pour off some of the oil in the pan. Only just a little bit.
I'll note that he's not pouring it directly into the drain.
Oh, I'm not. I've been yelled at plenty for doing that. So not doing that. I learned.
I was like, when we lived in the apartment, it was fine. Now that we could actually have to pay for the drain down the street, no.
All right, let's talk ingredients. Over here, please.
Oh, we're moving.
We're over here.
We're moving.
Hello.
We're moving.
Here we come. All right. So, really simple, really easy. These are our ingredients. I have a couple of sliced garlic cloves. Now I put the pan back on, and it's pretty low. Not quite a simmer, but pretty low. We're going to put those in. And you definitely don't want to burn these because they turn bitter, as we know. We have an entire bunch of thinly sliced scallions. I'm going to put most of them in there. I'm going to save some for a garnish at the end. So we're going to put these in. I'm going to try and get a lot of the whites in there and leave for the garnish the green parts, just because it's less chunky. All right, and we're going to let these cook until they get soft and translucent. That's going for our garnish. And I'm going to use a wooden spoon so we don't make so much noise.
Thank you.
Now, one thing about using a cast iron skillet is the handle stays hot, so always have with you a towel. Makes it easier to grab. All right, and of course, for the benefit of this video, I'm turning the flame up just a little bit, just so things might go along a little bit quicker. Because what we want to do, what we're looking to do is soften the garlic. We're looking to soften the scallions. I don't really necessarily want to put any color on them. Bring my recipe over here. All right.
And I see Mark Sennett has stopped by.
Hi, Mark. Are you in town, out of town? Where are you, my man?
And we also have Chris Baker. So hi, Chris, and Lisa Pichota.
Oh, great.
These are the people that haven't said anything yet, but the magic of Facebook, I can see everyone.
We can see you. All right, so you can see the scallions, the green onions are turning beautiful bright green as they cook a little bit. And the flavor and the aroma that's coming off of this is, you know, garlic and onion. What could be bad about that? Nothing.
And I'll say for anybody that's just joining, this is really the one skillet meal.
Yeah, so what we've done so far for those just joining, we cooked our dry-aged New York strips in the cast iron skillet, rendered out some of that dry-aged fat on the fat cap and the marbling that's in the steak, and that is the oil with a slight bit of avocado oil, but that's the primary oil that we are cooking these vegetables in.
Yes. So
beautiful thing.
Yes, my Los Angeles peeps are all chiming in.
Awesome.
So Chris Baker just said, "Hey now."
Hey now.
Hey now.
That is such a California thing to say.
So, Chef, why use avocado oil versus rapeseed or?
Well, you could use grapeseed oil, but avocado oil has a very high smoke point, like 550 degrees.
Okay.
It's a neutral flavored oil, so you're not gonna. If I used olive oil here, it may turn a little bit bitter. And there's something that I learned from my buddy Mike at Bon Palais, the Thai restaurant, where they use avocado oil exclusively. It tends to not make food greasy, which is a plus. All right, so these have softened.
So as they've softened up, we had just a bunch of new joiners. So we've got Tom D'Elia.
Smells good.
Scott Medina.
Tommy D'Elia. 2 weeks in a row, she got it right. That's awesome. You're in like Flynn.
I'm so bad at pronouncing people's names. We've got Randy Harvey from Wisconsin and Ian Savard. He said, "Hey, Lynn and Chef Eric."
Okay, so we've got our scallions, green onions, spring onion, whatever you want to call them, and our garlic, and they are softened. And now I'm going to put in my peas.
Are those fresh peas?
These, the recipe that I was looking at called for a 10-ounce package of frozen peas. But you know what? They had these fresh peas. I'm going to put them all in, more than 10 ounces. They had these fresh peas at the fresh market, and so I decided to use fresh peas. And what I did was I blanched them in boiling water and kept tasting them as they softened. And when they were soft and partially cooked, I put them in an ice bath. That's a bowl of ice with cold water. Locks in this beautiful green color, and that's what I'm using. I encourage you to do the same, and I encourage you to look at recipes that you may be you may be cooking where you can use something fresh rather than frozen, and understand that you may have to handle that ingredient differently, like in this case blanching the peas. But yeah, it will be markedly better than if I use frozen peas. Now, we've made recipes. Remember that that Nigella Lawson recipe we did with the chicken thighs and the peas and the leeks and the vermouth? That was absolutely frozen peas. The recipe was designed to use frozen peas, and it works there because as the peas defrost in the pan, that keeps the chicken moist. So definitely, I'm not dissing frozen products for sure. I'd rather use frozen. I would never use canned. Cans are mushy. No offense to our UK friends who love mushy peas.
Nope, I'm a fresh man.
All right, good, fresh man.
So since you're from Ireland,
I'm gonna add a little bit of water.
So from Ireland, do they do mushy peas too, or is it just okay?
Just a splash of water.
So we have Jamie Parisi. He said he just got home from work, so he started watching. And then I also see a little flag that Fran Grunstein has stopped in.
Oh, hello, Fran.
Little family.
Hope everything's well down the shore. All right, so as these cook, I'm gonna, kind of mash a little bit. Just, you don't want to totally break them up, but it's not a bad thing to have them mashed a little bit. I want to cook these for, I don't know, about 3 minutes or so. Again, I want them to retain their color. I don't want the whole thing to turn gray.
So we've got, let's see, we've got Suzanne Westerfield Malka. She's a
Hi, Sue.
And she said that she loves the cooking on cast iron. And Patty Wapp, she's watching and she's cleaning her kitchen while watching. That is the best way of cleaning your kitchen.
Excellent.
And then we have Dave Lehman. He said, I bet this would be some awesome on a camping trip.
Absolutely. Great camping trip recipe, dude. Over open flame. So it's my intention, I've shared before, I received a cookbook called 7 Fires. It's from Argentina. The mentor of my friend Danko from Barcelona gifted us this cookbook, and I'm hoping to do some open flame cooking this summer, so you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that. I got a lot of great feedback and compliments on the outdoor set from last week, so we're going to keep trying to do that. Today, of course, it's raining and it's cold, but
I think that's because we've got Brian here from the UK, so we brought the rain and the cold with him. Thanks.
okay.
You also brought that. And then Scott
Scott Medlin.
I had too much to drink.
Okay.
Brian's fault. He said, where's the meat?
The meat is resting on the cutting board. So we're going to add to these peas some asparagus. Now asparagus, will cook very quickly. We want it nice and crisp, tender. Beautiful thing.
I'd also like to point out that you just use your hand in a really hot pan. I don't recommend that for others.
I really touched the cold asparagus, but yes, I can see where that looks scary.
You have Teflon hands.
I do have Teflon hands. Now, the asparagus, just like the peas, just like the green onions, are going to turn a nice, bright, vibrant green. That is exactly what we're trying to achieve here. I'm going to stir that around, and I think that after I season this, so these vegetables are screaming for some salt.
Everything screams for salt.
The salt is also going to lock in the green color. Mix that around. And here's where I'm going to stray away a little bit from the recipe. At the Fresh Market, they had an herb that's not often or not easily found, at least here in New Jersey, and this is called savory. So I'm going to just pick the leaves off. This is going to add some aromatic element to this dish. You could use other herbs, of course. You can use tarragon. Tarragon and peas go together very well. I'm just going to pick it off. I can already smell, right? You can already smell the savory doing its job. Very good.
Paul Taboni is still looking for that rotisserie cooking.
I have to get a rotisserie.
I told him that we were looking at the thrift store and we just needed a rotisserie donation.
Ah, yes. Atta girl. All right, so you can see, I mean, the beautiful green color
that really got greener.
That the asparagus and the peas are. Just from a little heat, a little bit of water. So again, I love my asparagus crisp tender. So I'm going to turn the flame down. I'm going to let this sit and await the arrival of the steak. So we're going to go back to the cutting board.
Oh, other tip from Kevin.
And we're going to slice the steak. Yes.
He goes, baking soda locks in the green color because of its high pH.
It sure does.
Thank you, Kevin. So
right.
We're coming back for slicing.
Coming back for slicing. We're going to address the vinaigrette once again. You can see it has not separated. It is a beautifully emulsified sauce. See, beautifully viscous. It's exactly what you want. All right. So let's go. We're going to cut this. Now, New York strip. Similar to skirt steak. You want to zoom in on this, babe?
I want to zoom in.
Okay. So similar to skirt steak. The grain is going this way. So what are we going to do? We're going to cut it in half. Gorgeous. We're going to rotate, and now we're going to make sure we're cutting against the grain. Now this meat is going to look a little bit darker than a fresh steak because it is dry aged, and that's totally expected. And you can hear there's a crust on the outside, and my Meeson is doing an excellent job cutting through it. So the closer to the edge that you get, the more pronounced the dry aged flavor is. So again, the dry aged beef is a completely different animal and reacts completely differently than the regular fresh.
So as you're cooking, comment from Jamie Parisi goes, I recommend a Ronco rotisserie, works fantastic.
Awesome.
We've used one for 10 plus years. Paul DeBoni, besides green onions, what other onions would you use?
You can certainly do pearl onions. You can certainly use red onion, just cut it up. Lots of options.
And then we also have Bobby Thomas commenting that from our earlier reference, which I didn't mention, is that the Woodstock 50 is canceled because the backers have pulled out, and Dead and Company took it off their tour.
Yes, they did. All right, I'm trying to zoom in.
Are you watching it on screen?
I am watching it on screen.
All right.
There it is. Beautiful.
And
all right.
We have Chris Feldot with us tonight, too.
Hello, Chris. So I'm going to give these one final stir.
Should I come over there for that?
Nope, I'm going to bring it over there.
Brian, dinner's getting close.
Yes.
We've made you wait.
Dinner's getting close. Part of what we're also trying to do, you can unzoom. Part of what we're also trying to do, not only quicker and healthier stuff, we're trying to reduce the show down from that 1 hour, just because it's a long time, and we just want everyone to be able to enjoy and not be afraid of seeing a show that's an hour and saying, oh, I don't want to watch that because I don't have the time. So we're trying to do our best, and I know I can yap a little bit, but no, it's okay.
When the food's that good, you can yap all day.
That's right.
Hun,
my kitchen, my rules.
Hun, you're already at 40 minutes.
I am?
Just to let you know.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Lynn's been wanting a half-hour show for a long time.
Especially the night where our Mevo stopped working and I had to move back to the iPad where I had to hold the camera.
Yes.
Which ended up being the longest show ever at 1.5 hours. I'm like, really? Really? That's just mean.
All right, here we go. One pot cooking.
Wow.
we're gonna drizzle that beautiful vinaigrette. Shall I move it over? I'll move it over here.
All right, yours that's better. So move it over. Some other comments. Lisa Lobiender Trench. Hi Eric, this looks amazing. Benjamin Robert Fisher. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to tell me, Ben, but you age that. I don't know. Love those typos. And looks lovely. And Bobby Thomas, mouth-watering, deliciously good, and good fake. Good food takes time.
Yes.
Oh, and Brian Harrington's watching.
Awesome. All right, and I would be remiss if I didn't add a couple of turns of freshly cracked black pepper out of my Turkish pepper grinder, coffee mill I should say. All right, and here we go. We have it. Let's plate one up. And show you what this looks like.
While you're plating, Kevin asks, Eric, do you think dry-aged steaks reach the appearance of doneness at a lower temperature than non-dry aged? So appearance of doneness.
Well, I think they tend to look a little more done than they are, but I also think that dry-aged steak, sometimes, depending on the steak, is better cooked more than you normally would. So, and it was particularly true when we did the Wagyu beef. We tried it, I first cooked it rare to medium rare, and we were enjoying it. Lynn wanted it a little bit more, so I put the slices back in, and I bought those slices closer to medium, and the entire experience changed. They were much better. We both enjoyed them much more. Something happens to the fat that, that just changed the experience. It was absolutely decadent. So here I'm just putting some of the veg.
And I think with the
middle of the plate.
Yeah, I think with the Wagyu, the fat rendered out more, so you got a little less fat and just a ton of the flavor that just mixed in with it.
Mm-hmm. And we're putting on some of our awesome dry-aged New York strip. I'm going to do 3. Dry-aged New York strip right on top. A little bit more vinaigrette. Beautiful. And the final garnish of some fresh spring onion.
The green parts?
Yes, and I am going to check this out.
Would you like a knife? You've got a little knife.
I'm actually going to take a piece out of here, just because we're going to photograph this picture. Cuts like butter with the vinaigrette. I'm going to get a nice spear of asparagus, if it will allow me to pick it up. It doesn't want to go. All right, here we go.
Sorry, I just had some camera issues, but sorry.
Okay, here we go.
Doesn't suck?
Mm-mm.
No takeaway tonight,
The
Chef?
steak has a nice little chew to it, but it is definitely prime. You can feel the marbling. The fat has rendered out from inside. The flavor, off the charts. And this mustard vinaigrette / sauce works beautifully with this dish. So this is a real easy one you can make, again, any night of the week. It's few ingredients, comes together in one pot. Your family will love it. We will make sure that this recipe gets posted on our website.
Because I've been failing at that.
Yeah, we've been a little remiss on that, so maybe we'll play some catch up this weekend. But definitely make this. Definitely check out our website, Eating with Chef Eric, and get your friends to join our group. And check out, all the videos are on YouTube, Grateful Chef EE. And we look forward to doing this each and every week with you guys. You are our family, so let's do this again next week.
And we also have Paul signed up already for November.
I have my friend Paul, who lives in Florida, is coming up in November, who has already secured his spot at the Grateful Chef table to eat with us in November. Don't even know what it's going to be.
And Brian,
hopefully it's not the one thing he hates.
Yes, and I'm saying Brian, and you like signed up 2 months in advance.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm coming back in June.
He's coming back in June. So stay tuned. We'll do this again next week. And then the following week, I will be at the Memphis in May barbecue competition down in Memphis. Not sure if I'll be able to go live this way with the Mevo, but I will definitely be able to do some on my phone. And I'm trying to capture the essence of that festival, of the competition. I'll be cooking with the Boars Night Out, award-winning competition barbecue team. We're doing whole hog and amongst a bunch of other things.
Wow.
So thank you to Andrew for asking me to come, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to sign off. I want to bid you good eating, be well, be nice, be kind, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace. All right. It's that damn... Oops. All right. Cool. We're still recording. All right. Let's see. That's why.
All right. Want to say